Welcome back to our coverage of local government elections 2016, and it is shaping up to be a bruising battle in Nelson Mandela Bay. The DA is doing all it can to wrestle control of the city away from the ANC, and opinion polls suggest it's going to be a tight finish. Well, Xoli Mngambi has the latest for us. He's in Port Elizabeth, a rainy Port Elizabeth this morning. Xoli, a very good morning to you. And are you already seeing queues in Port Elizabeth like we saw in Joubert Park just a few minutes ago with Dan?
Well, UV, it's still very, very early here in Nelson Mandela Bay. In fact, it's very dark as I speak to you. And of course, you say it is rainy and also it is windy. And one of its nicknames, Uveka, Port Elizabeth, is that it is a windy city. Now, do these winds signify a change? Are these the winds of change? Will we see the ANC being dethroned here? Or will these winds of change basically blow any chances of the opposition trying to get a foothold into this municipality? We don't know. The ANC has been in charge here since the last 22 years. And you talk about queues, Uveka, still very dark. We have not spotted any queues just yet. But these weather conditions, Uveka, they don't bode well for people coming out, especially the elderly and infirm who would not have registered for special votes, which concluded yesterday. Now, if you think about it today, in this condition, I doubt that many elderly people will brave it out, but it's a wait-and-see game.
You speak of the winds of change, Xoli, and certainly it's gone from a very confident stance by Danny Jordaan to a very uncertain and anxious morning for him, undoubtedly, today.
That's right, Uveka. Danny Jordaan is talking tough, is saying that everything has been done that is possible to try and persuade voters, especially disillusioned voters here in Nelson Mandela Bay, Uveka, who feel let down by the ANC's governance record here. Issues of corruption, issues around housing, but also more importantly, Uveka, I think it's become a universal issue throughout the country, the issue of jobs, job creation. We know that in Port Elizabeth, the automotive sector has been the bedrock of this municipality's economic drivers. And so now the municipality is trying to see if it can bring in the oceans economy through Operation Pakisa that has been punted by government in the last couple of years. And of course, we'll see whether or not this will result in young people who are largely unemployed here at Uveka and turn to drugs and gangsterism and things like that. So Danny Jordaan is being brought here and was brought here firstly as an ANC mayor appointed by the ANC, even though he's not an elected official, which upset many people here in this municipality, especially ANC officials who are elected officials here. But of course, Danny Jordaan being brought in by the ANC to try and fix it. And of course, as the media has dubbed him, Mr. Fix It, things have improved slightly, Uveka. We shall see, therefore, whether Danny Jordaan has made inroads at all in areas such as the northern areas here, Uveka. This is largely the coloured constituency, which the DA gained in 2011 from, and it's really hoping that it will retain that constituency. Now, with the introduction of Danny Jordaan, it's a wait and see whether or not the ANC will be able to regain that constituency because of the introduction of Danny Jordaan here as a mayoral candidate.
All right, we'll catch up with you a little later on, and that's Xoli Mngambi from a rainy Port Elizabeth. And will it keep the crowds away, or will they head to the polling stations this morning? We'll know by about 7.